Hello, Stratters. It's CreepEvee, and welcome back. We are still playing our Simic-ish kind of Timber. Only one red. I guess it's still Timber, but it's only one red. So we're gonna go with Simic with a splash of red. Uh, Going to try to burn our opponent out with infinite mana and Valakut Invoker, one of the worst commons from all of BFZ, which is an achievement considering that set. It was some rough commons, but anyway, besides that, just giving you guys a quick look at the deck list again. To be more specific about our strategy, we are going to try to create a land that produces more than one mana with spells like Fertile Ground and where did you go? Oh, right there, Gift of Paradise. And then turn it into a creature with Wind of Zendikon or Lifespark, Spellbomb, preferably Wind of Zendikon, but sometimes with the Spellbomb. Then once it's a creature, use Freed from the Reel to give it the ability to untap itself. It'll be producing an extra mana whenever it taps, which means that we are netting a mana every time that we tap and untap it. That being our infinite mana, and then Valakut Invoker for every 8 mana. Because this card is so great. For every 8 mana, you deal 3 damage to target creature or player. So a bolt for 8 mana on legs. That's a 2/3. Lovely. Yeah, this could be a 0-cost creature and it'd still be like awful. But we're gonna try it out. We did manage to kind of pick up a win, except for the timeout, because you know me, great with the timer. But anyway, let's pop on over into the game, guys. Okay guys, this hand is weird. I like it, but it's also not great. But since when have I been in the practice of keeping good hands on this show? I think I say that about literally every hand. I kind of want to go back now, just watch every single one of my videos and see how many. This hand is not great, but the moral of the story, kids, is I don't like the mulligan. I feel like I'm cheating myself somehow if I do so. Well, let's Island Ponder, because that's just about as good as turn 1 as you can get in Pauper. Besides Mountain Riftbolt Pass, which is equally as good, if not better. So my opponent gets the island, so now all of a sudden I don't want to joke about just how good starting out with an island is, because that means that I might actually have to face up to that. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle 2 islands and a preordained. Doesn't sound too exciting. So I think that we're gonna try and look for something else, and I'm glad we did, because getting the Guild Gate I think is a better alternative. Plus we already have preordained, so I think we'll be better served to stick with what we have. Augurebolus. So, could be a few different ways to build blue there. Augurebolus, kind of a in-between Z-type. Preordain. 2 impulses. Well, you know what? Why not split the difference? Let's put 1 on top and 1 on bottom. And I guess we just have to go Guildgate Pass. Normally you see the Augur Bolus in the either blue-black matchups or in the blue-red. Normally the blue-red more so. I guess we might find out with this Evolving Wilds. Maybe so, maybe no. Looks like first we're gonna have to catch this one. So what did he end up getting off of that? The preordained, right? Okay. I always forget to do the dismissing. And then I look towards the end of the game and need to remember what my opponent has searched, and I just have like 40 different potential cards that it could be. Just MTGO things, I suppose. Let's go. I guess just for the Fertile Ground. Generally, the better way to start out. There we go. Don't know why we apparently spent the island and then didn't spend that, but anyway. And then just drop the Guild Gate and pass. Yeah, normally if I have the option of getting out mana acceleration, normally want to go for it. Goes for the Brainstorm. Not really sure why they didn't put Brainstorm in this deck. I mean, yeah, I mean, you can make the argument that Preordained might be better, but I generally like Brainstorm over Preordained, but I guess in this deck, I don't know, I think that it can go either way. Those being your, like, big 3 draw spells, it really does come down to preference. To a certain extent, yeah. I don't know. Play whatever you want to play. Unless, of course, you're playing Pauper, and then play commons. But out of those commons, yeah, don't cheat, kids. Unless it's really important that you win. But then you still shouldn't. The question that you should ask yourself is, why am I in this high stakes of a game? Well, it looks like the blue-black option is what we're going to end up playing against, and kind of afraid of that because hand disruption hurts combo decks a lot, because we could discard our combo pieces, which, okay, for the ones that we have multiple copies of, but if we draw into that one Invoker, that could be a problem. Drops Delver. It's kind of interesting. I mean, you could argue that it's not interesting considering that it is a blue deck that plays Delver in Pauper. Could be considered to be the most expected thing on the earth, but you know, the old faithful of Pauper. Let's go. I think we'll play a Gift of Paradise and target the untapped Guild Gate. And then I would like to wait until my opponent's instep, but I'd like to impulse to see if I can draw a land. because I don't like missing land drops. Especially not in combo decks. So basically every deck I've ever played on this channel. So I guess, as much as I would like a land, I think Freed from the Real being one of our key combo pieces, probably better. Probably a better choice. We'll just go with any order. Probably going to end up searching our deck next turn anyway, so it should be fine. So there's a whole lot of things that can happen in this matchup. The Delver could just be throwing me off, and this is in fact a like blue-black hand disruption, or this is just blue-black and it has like Doom Blades and kill spells of that nature, in which case we're gonna have a problem because of turning our creature into a land and it dying at instant speed. Flips the Delver, revealing the counterspell, which is now another thing that we have to worry about. That also being one of the problems that we're going to have, because there's one of like Invoker type deals. Oh no, I was sorely mistaken. This is, well, I'm guessing is Mill based on the Phantasm, but, which is kind of weird because normally, yeah, it's Mill. It's just weird considering that most of the time in Pauper you see Mill being like blue-green. Okay, so important thing is we did not mill our Invoker. The bad thing is we now have to worry about milling our Invoker. So I'm going to say that we should probably go ahead and search for the Invoker, because now that I feel more confident that it is mill instead of hand disruption, then I would like to go ahead and get him out. Seeing as he is in far more danger where he is. There we go, Moto slowed down on me for a minute. See how this transmute goes. I don't know, Moto goes so well until I start recording and then it grinds to a halt. And I don't think it's my software, because it doesn't happen all the time. I'm stating it is as if it's every single time. It's not every time, but the vast majority of times it's just, oh my god, like grinds to a halt. Well, I guess we'll just drop these 2 spell bombs, and we need to then next turn be looking for the Giga Drowse, because we need to tap down my opponent's mana and then go back into our turn after that and try to play around a potential counterspell. Augur Bolus doesn't get anything. So we're gonna go down to 9. So how much blue can we make? We can make 5, which means we Giga Drowse 5 things. Which does not work if we want to win the game. Because right now, if we go to his turn, tap down his mana, then he just attacks and kills us. If we target some of his creatures, then he plays the counter spell and kills us. So lots of things to think about, most of them being pretty bleak. But we'll play the Impulse, see what we can do with it. The Gift of Paradise actually gives us a way out of this, assuming that my opponent does not respond to it. That way out being the 3 life that I will gain. Somehow I struggle to see how he's going to justify letting this resolve. Because I'm tapping down, you have lethal on board, and I'm gaining life. That lets it go through. But, of course, I don't know what he has in his hand, so could be playing the safe game, which, playing blue-black, you probably do want to know how to play the safe game. So this has now increased the number of things that I can tap down to 6 total. I could play... Well, I can't play Valkyrie Invoker because he has Counterspell. And that would be my only one. Because I don't know, man. I think you could find a place for 2. At least side another one. In case you're playing against a lot of removal. We could... That'd just be bad. I was gonna say we could Drift of Phantasms, get another Gift of Paradise, and try to do things that way, but we may have actually milled the other one. Well, there's still one left. I guess we could start, like, turning our lands into man lands, and then they can be blockers. Or maybe that will motivate one of the one counter spell, and then potentially that being the only one, possibly there being more. You guys get what I'm trying to say. But it resolves. So we could play Freed from the Real, but then I feel very confident that our opponent would stop this. Really don't know where to go from here. We don't have a single good option. Let's try drawing a card. We do draw a land, which doesn't do a whole lot for us. Except we could try to push through this Freed from the Real. But I do heavily feel that that is a lost cause. Wind of Zendikon. This guy. I guess that's the best thing we can do here. So one fun thing that we can do. I actually can't think of a fun thing for us to do now that I've said this, because the thing that I was gonna say doesn't really work. What did we mill, just out of curiosity? Because I was gonna say we could Giga Drowse when he swings, but we actually can't block enough things to... So my original idea was we declare blockers and then cast Giga Drowse during block step. But then I realized that we're only at 2 life, so these 2 lone Argarabolai, or Bolai, Argarabolai, Belize, Argarabolese, those augurs, they will be able to kill us, which is kind of sad, really, that we'll die to 2 Argarabolas. Wait a minute, did I not declare? Yeah, well, that didn't work out great. I wonder what we can side in here. Because now we have to be even more careful about siding things out, considering that we might lose combo pieces. But I definitely feel like dispels are pretty much obligatory here. And maybe give up some draw spells. Go down like 2 impulse. Go up 2 dispel. Down 1 life spark. Up 1 dispel. That's the best idea I've got. Siding with combo decks is just such a pain. I would be curious to see our opponents build. Most Pauper mill decks that I see are just like, here's erasures, here's draw spells, here's a few mill spells, and wrap it all up, throw in a bunch of fogs, because fogs are actually really good in this format. This is bad. This is not a hand that I would say is good, but this is a bad hand. Preordain, we can leave that on top. And let's go Thornwood Falls, gain 1, pass. Our opponent starts out with the Evolving Wilds. Let's play blue, Preordain. Gets an island. And I'm going to actually leave both of these on top, I think. Yeah, I don't see a reason not to. I mean, yeah, there's a reason not to, but I guess we do need to be careful about our top of library considering the matchup. But we will go ahead and put you on top as well. And then I guess we'll just play the tap land and pass. Thought about trying to play some Pauper Mill on the channel before. It's not exactly a very fun format to play Mill. You're just kind of limited in options, and it just feels more grindy than Mill, really. I'll put both of these on bottom. Freed from the reel. I guess we'll go island and play Fertile Ground so that he can counter it. This feels like a thing that gets countered, but it does not. It resolves. Interesting. I mean, I won't complain. It'd be a tad bit silly of me to complain. Pieces of the puzzle. So he put up to 2 instance sorceries. So a brainstorm and a counterspell. That's not great. I mean, great for him, but I'm not excited about it. I guess island. I guess you, and then like there, target, oh, well, target, gain 3, tap. Given this matchup, I am just going to go for the Guild Gate. And doing it now because I want to actually do things when I can, given this is a control matchup. So I want to try to win, well, not necessarily win, but try to do damage and get pieces of my combo into play when I can. Since that's not a guaranteed against a control matchup, I would feel, given the fact that I know that he's playing Mill, I feel less afraid of kill spells. Of course, if I were him, I'd probably be siding them. So it's a give and take there. But at least I will have this out and in place. As for what he could be main decking, I would expect that it's safe to play the Windows Endicon, at least at this point. So that's one less combo piece that I need to cast in the same turn to be able to make Freed from the Reel come to play, and then yada yada yada, so on, win the game. Giga Drow's pretty good for us, so let's leave it on top. but then deciding when to use it is actually going to be a little bit tricky. Let's swing in... Actually, no. Considering that we're going to try to win all at one time, then I'm not going to worry about trying to trade blows. Kind of afraid of how big this phantasm can get very quickly, considering that it is a large part of what killed us last game. One good thing is that we have only seen him with one type of counterspell, that being the titular counterspell. One black. What could this be? Duress? Oh, memory slice. But as I was saying, having one, I mean, obviously, you definitely could have more types of counter spells. You could have, you know, dispels, all of those, but it is kind of comforting to know that so far we've only seen that one. Maybe he's not playing an entire suite of them. Okay, well, let's go. This is a little bit reckless, but let's play a Freed from the Real onto our land creature thingy. Because we know he has a counter spell and we know he has the mana for it, but once he plays that, then he no longer has that counter spell and mana for it. Looks like he is going to counter it, and we have a lot of mana, so we are going to play a Freed from the Real now that he will not be able to counter it. And we can actually afford to untap our creature now. So we'll see if he plays any hasty blockers that I'm not afraid to block with our one creature. For now, one creature for now. Hopefully he will not mill our invoker. We can make infinite blue mana though and just Giga Drowse him. But given the fact that he only has 2 creatures and 4 lands right now, Giga Drowsing to death just seems a little bit excessive. Whenever, probably going to be some turns where we'd prefer that we had saved Giga Drowse. This will be a solid 8 damage for our opponent, not throwaway damage by any stretch of the imagination. Life Spark Spellbomb. I'm going to use this and draw a card. Not going to worry about using its secondary ability. I just want to try and win this game as soon as possible. Now, let's see whether or not... I think we can go one more turn before we have to Giga Drown our opponent. Will the Delver flip? I bet it'll flip. It flipped. Yay. I mean, it may have been fake excitement. I am not truly excited about the flying 3-2 that's about to hit us. I am less excited, if that's even possible, about the potential for the 5 possible counterspells in this hand. Actually more afraid of the 5 potential mill spells that could be in his hand. The good news is there's only one card in our deck that we need right now, and we do have several ways of drawing it. Our opponent has ironically made it easier for us to get to that one card, considering that he dumped 10 of them. I think we're gonna see another 10 of them go now. I'm not super excited about it, because the more he mills, the more afraid I am. Oh, it's not memory slice, it's memory sluice. Sluice. Let's go with sluice. So far, we're still in the game. Original resolves, we're still in the game. Okay. 28 cards to go through. That is not... That's not one of the cards that we could have drawn that would win us the game. But we press on. And then next turn we Giga Draws. Because Giga Draws in a deck in which you can produce infinite mana is pretty good. So we need to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got almost 7 just naturally. And then untap. Untap. Tap. Untap. Every time I do this little combo, I think of that Vine with the like older lady doing the motions for the sit down, drank, stand up, drank song. Oh, my white self cannot remember what the name of the song actually is, but that song. Untap, drop, and then untap with just the one. But anyway, time to go 1, 2. Oh, I want to add 6 targets to that. At which point my opponent just uses 1 counter spell, but apparently not. I'm gonna let this resolve. Well, I guess resolve long enough for us to declare targets. Or maybe just gonna let it resolve. Looks like it's gonna resolve. Yay, we won! I wish. Alright, well, I believe we win. Our opponent is completely tapped down. We have not yet milled our win condition, and that is an instant search for our win condition. So we're gonna win 1 game and then be about to time out. Alright, well, my opponent was kind enough to see where things were going there, so but that doesn't save us much time. We just gotta go straight on to the next game. I'm gonna keep our sideboarding plan. My opponent didn't show me anything that I wasn't expecting, so I think our same sideboarding plan is just fine. I don't foresee us making it far enough into this hand to really do anything. We're gonna keep this because, oh my god, we opened up Invoker and we really don't want to get our Invoker milled. Our opponent goes Island Go. Island and Ponder. Fertile Ground, Island, Preordain. Let's go Island, Fertile Ground, Preordain, and no shuffle. And pass. Thought Scours us, milling the 2 cards that we just set up. Wish I would have put the Fertile Ground up first instead of the Preordain. I probably would have rather had it. But that's what you get when you forget that you're playing against Mill. Preordain, Giga Drowse. I'm going to say bottom to both of these. A Wind of Zendikon does not do anything for our win con right now, considering that we already have another one. See, I made the little pun on Zendikon and win con, and I swear, you guys don't appreciate my comedy the way that you should. This is highbrow stuff. I'm giving it away for free. Unfortunately, I believe that I have been given this L for 3 to bring it back to the original topic at hand, aka the thing that I'm supposed to be making videos on and not my cruddy comedy. An augur bolus. Come on, show me a counterspell just to make me know I lost. No, preordain, which can find a counterspell that'll make me know that I've lost. Well, island into spell bomb. Into Wind of Zendikon. Into Wind of Zendikon. Because I'm enjoying getting a little bit of abstract with our plays, considering that we only have 3 minutes left. If we had the full, gambit of turns, I do feel like this is a pretty good hand as far as how it's played out so far. But why not play it fast and loose? Excuse me. Wish I could have gotten to the mute button on my microphone fast enough for that one, but that's what they got post-production editing for. Unless, of course, if you heard that sneeze, and that means that I forgot to do that part of the post-production editing. But if you didn't hear it, I'm getting better. Unfortunately, my job on the timer is not getting better. But honestly, for playing a combo deck that has a combo that goes as long and boring as this one does, I'd say I'm doing alright. As far as time on this one, my opponent is not exactly blazing up the trail either. So if we do as I normally do and base my impression of myself on my peers, then I am definitely doing okay. So yeah, we'll put you on top. Ponder. And then plan on keeping the island. Dispel? Oh no, Spell Pierce. Interesting. Okay. Highbrow stuff. Yeah, I guess pass then. I guess we will see how this next turn goes. If nothing too crazy happens, I think that we've lost, unless our opponent falls asleep on his keyboard. Which, well, I was gonna say it's 12 midnight here, or approximately, but this is an international client, so could be whatever time for him. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, guys. Just keep that in mind. I really, you guys have no idea just how blessed you are to get this comedy for free. guess Drift of Phantasms. But yeah, I really am a national treasure. Guess we'll pass and then impulse on his instep. Unless something really interesting happens. I guess we could really just stick it to the man and block that insectile aberration, but I don't wanna, because I wanna cast my impulse. So end impulse. Well, there's our freed from the real, which is what we would have gotten with Drift of Phantasms. Now we would just use it to get what is the name of the one? The 3-drop multiplier, Gift of Paradise. But we're gonna go ahead and scoop it up here because gonna cut the tension short with a knife and say that we're not gonna manage to pull it off in that 2 seconds that we have left on the clock. But let's jump over and just take one final look at the deck before we wrap this episode up, because don't know how much more time I have. I have been trying to get several games with this deck, and that was one where things actually went back and forth, and not where this deck just got completely blown out. But it's not terrible. I think that there's some tweaks that you could make to it, but overall, if you wanted to build the combo around Valakut Invoker, this is probably one of the better builds that you could make. The question is, do you want to? There's other things you can do with infinite mana in Pauper, guys. Valakut Invoker is not the way to do this. There is a card in this game known as Rolling Thunder, Karavik's Torch, that whole package. Go with that. That's a card that's better than Valakut Invoker if you're really dedicated to making it that type of setup. But yeah, I mean, there's things that you can do with Freed from the Real in a lot of formats. Pauper is indeed one that you can do things with it. Just it doesn't necessarily have to be this. There's just so many moving parts to this combo, and although I admire any kind of creative approach to deck building, this one's a stretch, guys, a little bit. I was thinking about it before I started recording a little bit ago. I think this may be the worst deck I've played on the channel yet. And that's saying something, because I've played a lot of decks on this channel. Last week was a deck that was my first Pauper deck, and not to brag, but I do think it was better than this. But I admire them for something different and a new approach to an existing combo in terms of this format. So I do want to thank you guys for joining us. I guess I'll move to our normal pleasantries towards the end. I do want to thank you guys for sticking with me here. I know that this week's upload schedule has been really crazy. Things have been a little bit out of control in my life, but trying to get things on track, but I've been in a bit of a sour mood. There definitely has been some recording issues and all sorts of things that I've had problems with lately, but it has been a bit of a rough week, to say the least. But gonna push on through it. Try to figure out what we're gonna do for videos this weekend. Not entirely sure yet, but I did enjoy making this one. I don't know whether I'm going to have a full 2 videos this weekend, because this is going to be going up on Thursday night most likely, and that's normally when I'm supposed to make the first one for the for the week. So don't know whether we'll have a full 2 videos this week, especially considering that I've got holidays here going on. But we'll definitely try to get at least one little special video in before the holiday, and then see what all is going on for another full week next week. But like I said, I appreciate you guys sticking with me, and I am looking forward to continuing once I get back on a little bit better schedule here. Like I said, things have just been wonderful. But things should be balancing back out, and then we can get back to doing things the way I normally like to do them, which is subpar but okay enough to get by, you know, just below, just to hold that time slot when Dan isn't here to take care of you guys. You guys got me. But we'll get down to the pleasantries now. If you guys did like this video for some reason, I do encourage you to hit the like button down below. We do appreciate that, as well as consider subscribing. That way you guys will never miss any of my wonderful content and any of the other fantastic videos from any of the other wonderful people here at Magic Gathering Strat. We definitely do appreciate that. And if you'd like to see more of what I do for some reason, you can head on over to my YouTube channel, because it'll be in the description. I'm going to try to finish editing some videos for it tonight. And you can also check out the link to my Facebook page, where I post, well, generally try to always post when I'm going to be recording for this channel, as well as I post new releases from my channel, as well as when any of my videos go up on this channel. So everything will be organized there for you in one location. So it's pretty good option if you like what I do. And also if you want to interact with me on MTGO, because then you get live, up-to-date coverage on when I'll be on. Your local weatherman can't even keep up with me the way that my Facebook page can. So go with that, and with all of that verbal diarrhea that I just said being done, I will see you guys in the next video.